salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call of officers. Vice Chairman Brendan Riley.
Present.
Secretary Donna Morris is excused. Director Tim Blakely.
Here.
Director Lisa Sanchez.
Here.
Dennis Schaffner is excused. And Director Shawnee McCardle.
Present.
And Chairman Dover. Okay. Has everyone had an opportunity to look at the agenda? Does anyone have any questions or comments or concerns? Okay, we need a motion.
All motion.
Any second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And we also have the meeting minutes. Those are a transcription basically of our video and are kind of lengthy, and I apologize for that, but I just wanted to make sure we had some elements covered pretty well. Okay. We're not going to put it to review, but with that, I'm going to turn the floor over. As I promised last month, I'm going to give each of my directors an opportunity to run an Rmac meeting. And so with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to Lisa to run the rest of the program.
Okay. So tonight we actually have no guest speaker. So we're going to go ahead and move into community leader reports. We're going to start off with Kern County Sheriff's Office. Lieutenant Croft.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you guys again. I don't have a whole lot to report. I'm actually not going to bore you guys with the arrest again. I feel like you guys kind of don't seem too interested with those. But I don't know if you guys saw the press release we put out not too long ago, for just a couple days ago, for the attempted homicide suspect. That was, I won't give you all the details, but the gist of it is suspect goes and steals a catalytic converter, which is pretty common everywhere throughout Bakersfield, throughout the county. And suspect gets away with the catalytic converter. Victim is not too happy about that, but does not decide to call law enforcement and decides to go and confront the suspect at his residence. Suspect arms himself with a shotgun, and bad things happen. He shoots one round at the victim, and the victim grabs a hold of the gun and actually pulls it down, to my understanding. That's how he sustained a gunshot to his leg. We found out later his leg was actually amputated. So terrible story, terrible situation, but let that be a lesson. Let's not take the law into our own hands, and give us a call for anything like that. The catalytic converter is not worth a human leg. So we did put a press release out over that. There's a Ramey warrant out for him, so hopefully we get some tips on that and find out where he's at. I won't go into the other arrests. I don't have a whole lot of other earth-shattering information. Roseman Parade, we're going to participate in that. Got the permit approved? Yes, sir. I'm told Sheriff Youngblood's actually going to participate in that. I wish I could be here. I'll be out of town, but I will have a sergeant and some deputies and our good friends at Search and Rescue here to coordinate that. So I don't have anything else.
Okay,
I'm
thank
just
you so much.
curious, do you know what year range is of vehicles or the converters being stolen on?
No, I didn't even have the information of actually his vehicle, but I can get that. That might be good information to put out to everybody if it's a certain model of vehicles and
Certain year ranges, yeah.
Right, that might be good.
I've heard it's more like Honda, 80s, 90s.
That would sound that's probable, because those are the same type of vehicles that are the easiest to get into, the ones that get stolen all the time. They don't have the system, the newer systems that the newer vehicles have. So, but no, if I get that information, I'll put it out. Yes, sir.
How many sheriffs and deputies do you have here?
In Roseman,
Yeah, at the substation.
we're actually working out of the Mojave substation right now. We've consolidated all the substations, and we're operating as what we call a super substation. And we still use the Roseman substation here occasionally, and try to keep deputies out there as often as possible. But we're kind of using Mojave as a central hub. I know we've got deputies out at the football game right now. And that's one thing I failed to mention. There was been a couple incidents at Roseman High, if you guys weren't aware, and then we've stationed a deputy out there for at least the remainder of the football games, and a few more out there today. We don't have a contract with them. We're not obligated to do any of that, but I think it will deter some of the crime.
Is there
Some of the
an
fights that these kids are
estimated
having.
number of deputies that serve Roseman?
I'm sorry?
Is there an estimated number of how many come to Roseman for Mojave?
No, because it fluctuates. We respond to calls as necessary, and patrol check, as needed.
Because I think we need more in town.
I would agree. I think we need more at every substation.
I've written to the visitor.
We appreciate that. We could use more deputies. I don't think anybody would argue that with you.
Well, it's just, I can walk down Roseman Boulevard and see infractions all day long. There's no sheriff's around. And
Yeah.
That's why there's a lot of accidents, people speeding on Roseman Boulevard.
The more presence, the better. I agree. I wish I had my good friend Lieutenant Williams here to combat some of that speeding. He would be better to speak on that. But I agree, though. Any presence alone is good. That's what we're doing tonight at the football game. We've got several of them heading out there just to stop these fights. I guarantee those kids aren't going to be fighting if they see deputies out there.
Well, there might be some speeding out there being due.
Yeah, that too.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I have one quick question for you before we move forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any way, I know Lancaster we have problems with catalytic converters being stolen. I know Lancaster, LA County did a engraving on catalytic converters of the VIN number of your vehicle. Is there any way that Kern County could maybe possibly do something like that?
Engraving of the VIN number on the actual
Converter.
On the converter.
Correct.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. I'm not real familiar with it, but I'd be happy to check
Okay,
into
I
it.
believe it was the Lancaster Police Department who put it on.
Okay, so the LA County Sheriff's, I'm assuming?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got some colleagues over there. I'll reach out to them and
Okay.
see what the deal is with that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
It'd have to be a shop with a hoist, it's only
What's that, Jack?
it'd have to be a shop with a hoist, it's only you could.
Yeah, I know that they advertised it, and they had like a whole weekend of it, probably about 3 months ago.
Interesting. They're providing that service to the public?
Yes, a free service to the public.
Interesting.
Yep, it was actually pretty awesome. I didn't think to go in that day, or else I would have, but. Any more questions for Lieutenant Carr? No? Okay, and next is California Highway Patrol. Sergeant John Williams, he's not here, so we're gonna go next to California Assembly Representative for Tom Lackey.
Yeah. Hello, good evening. My name is Carlo Basile, I'm the Assemblyman Tom Lackey's representative. Just happy to be here. I've got a few notes. Tom Assemblyman is out of session, and so Tom Lackey's in the district. He will be until late December, early January. And I just got a few notes from the end of the session. He offered two important bills. One was on cannabis research, it was AB 1305. That was to clear up the gray area where cannabis cultivation and illegal growing overlapped enough so that there was no scientific research available. So he figured out a way, proposed some rules, and it was signed into law. So hopefully the universities will be able to research cannabis without getting into trouble with the federal government or other troubles. And also, there's another bill that he authored, AB 465 and 467. That was to help out foster and homeless youth. It established another person to be on an interagency task force so that they could have apprenticeships available for those youths that needed it. Apprenticeship programs are very important for kids that don't go to college. My own grandkid is, both of them are in it. Great programs to go in. Anyway, So he was available, he was doing that for the foster and homeless youth. There's also, he was really happy of adding $4 million to the bill, the budget bill, to address the backlog of sexual assaults forensic evidence kits. Well, there's a mouthful of words. But it was very important work to do. You know, crimes need to be prosecuted in a timely manner. You can't have backlogs. So he saw a need and he pushed forward. And he's also requested an audit for the Child Abuse Central Database, and that's in the works this year. So that'll be some good work. And I know it's like behind the scenes kind of work. It's important, keeps you busy, but it also sets you up for successes in the future. You know? Not just from education, but also for crime prevention. On the constituent front, our office has been very busy with EDD and DMV issues. If you guys have ever had the misfortune of being behind on those EDD issues, you will understand all our callers, and we've had hundreds per week. And 3 people that have been involved have been very busy clearing that out, and they've done really good work. Anyway, if there's any questions or anything you'd like to ask, my name is Carl Basile. Our office number is 661-267-7636. 267-7636. And please call us. We're here to help. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? Thank you so much. So, next is Kern County Supervisor's Representative Laura White.
Good evening, everybody. I wanted to touch on an update from last month. We did have a code compliance issue at one of the properties here in Rosamond at 1830 Locust. I reported it at the last meeting. The 14-day notice to abate went out to the property owner. The property owner failed to respond and failed to comply. So on the 13th of this month, the final notice was posted for abatement and cleanup, and the county has gone out to bid for contractors to bid the project. So hopefully we'll see some progress there. I'll try to keep this group updated, but it is out for contractor bid. So hopefully we'll see some cleanup. I know Jack's chamber property is adjacent to that, so I think it's going to make Jack happy. We've partnered with the chamber, and I'm sure Jack will touch on their trunk or treat event that's coming up. But in addition to that, as kind of a side event, the county will be doing a resource fair also that day. And a lot of the county departments will come. They'll have booths available. They'll be talking to the community about what they do, what services they provide, how to report concerns, things like that. And then at dusk, we will show a movie. I believe it's going to be Monsters, Inc. And that will be at the event center at the chamber building there, their new event center. So that should be a good time for the community. Yes, sir.
What day is that?
That's going to be the 29th, Jack?
That's a Saturday?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
Saturday
it's
before, because I
Saturday.
think Halloween falls on a Monday or Sunday this year.
That would be the 30th.
Sunday.
Thank you. On the 30th, sir.
Where is it?
At the chamber on Diamond Street?
Oh, you're in.
Yes, yes. It's a partnership with the Rosamond Chamber of Commerce for their trunk or treat event.
Yeah, it'll be October 30th.
And we will publicize it like crazy on, we'll have flyers out, media, press releases and things like that as it gets closer, but just wanted to let everybody know that. And then I've been working very closely with Lisa, and I'm gonna let her update you on some of the, no?
No, go ahead.
I didn't want to steal your thunder.
No, go ahead.
No, I'll let Lisa touch on that during her director report, but we have had some projects that we've been able to see through to completion, and we're making some progress on some things as far as repairs, cleanup, openings, things like that. So, does anybody have any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next will be the Rosamond Community Services District. Looks like no one's here for them, so we will move on to the next, to the Roseman Chamber of Commerce and Vice President Javner.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. September 25th, Roseman Parade, Armed Forces Day Parade. I don't see Dennis here, but Dennis Schaffner will be the MC of the parade. And we're going to have Sheriff Youngblood, Tom Lackey, and a couple others I'm waiting to hear from. Unfortunately, Zach won't be able to make it. He has another obligation that day. And but I know he would if he could.
I was here a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's right, he was. So tell him thank
Right
you.
before COVID.
Tell him thank you anyway. And so everybody come on out, get your floats ready. We can accept parade apps up to the day of the parade. A lot of people do that. They come in at the last minute. Then we got to rush and put everything together. But Tim knows all about that.
Good times.
Yep. So Joe Bender's going to help you, Tim.
Okay.
And I'm just leaving it up to you two. You're going to have to get a hold or leave me a number before I leave tonight so I can get a hold of you and give it to Tim or to Joe so you guys can coordinate. Because you know the routine, the numbers, and all that kind of stuff. And, that's an area that I usually did the festival. I didn't do the parade that much, so I'm a little weak on that side.
So you're in charge.
So you're in charge.
Good parade.
Yeah. So as everybody knows, we're not having the festival. We will have food vendors across the street from the event center, and then during the event center after the parade, we'll be giving away the trophies for the different categories and so forth. So we'll have a PA up on the stage there and do a little ceremony and giveaway, and there'll be food trucks across the street, and have picnic tables out, and everybody kind of congregate, eat a little food at the same time, enjoy themselves. And then we're looking forward to the joint event with the county and Zach and Laura, and I think that's going to be real awesome event. And we did one before, it was pretty popular, even though our screen just kind of obliterated on us from the back wind that night.
We've made improvements.
Yes, yeah.
That won't happen this time.
Were you there last time?
Yes.
Yeah, it was kind of like, yeah. It was perfect the night before when we tested it, and the night of, it was just a disaster. So, but we're looking forward to it. We got the event center cleaned up. We got the DG laid out. So it's looking pretty good. We got some of the overhang to the stage done. Heritage Builders has agreed to come out and finish doing the rail, see what's missing for that, get that wrapped up. And after we get that done, then we're gonna bring in the solar, put solar on top of the canopy there. I'm not sure what the official name is for that, but I'll call it the canopy. And that way, the whole event center and the chamber will be powered by solar. And that'll be a big cost savings for all the events and so forth.
Where is the event center?
So on Dutton Street, 2861 is the chamber, right next to it's the event center.
Is that new?
It is. It's well, it's been around for a while, ongoing project. About 6 years now, Lisa, I guess. But we're getting close to wrapping up, and so it's a nice venue, and we do a lot of community events and concerts and things of that nature there. It's a good venue for it, and can hold a lot of people.
How many people can have?
I really don't have a number on that. I'm guessing probably at least just inside at least a couple hundred.
I believe it's 250, Jeff.
Was it 250?
250.
But the other part of it too is as we need to, we shut down the block and then we put bleachers outside. It's a bigger room.
Does anyone know the population of our town now?
Currently, it was like 18,000 something.
So the census is still being ran right now. It's still being completed. But at last count that I looked, we were sitting at 23,000. But it's still being completed. Correct.
All the new housing tracts.
I'm sorry?
There's 3 new housing tracts going in right now.
Correct.
Right.
So we're gonna be overloaded with Rosewood Boulevard, just one street.
Correct. We are looking into that, trust me. We're trying to step ahead to see,
But I've
make sure.
written to different places and I get no answers, so that's not.
Okay, let's get finished with this, and then if you have any other comments, then you're more than welcome. We have a public speaking time where you have 2 minutes, and we can, for sure, listen.
On the road.
And Jack, when do you anticipate, just so I make sure my calendar is right, when do you anticipate having open public meetings again?
Oh, I was gonna talk to you about that tonight. Gene said he wanted to start back up next month.
Okay, so October? Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm here. Thank
Right.
you.
Yep. So I was gonna talk to you about that.
That's fine.
Glad you brought it up.
One more question for you, Jack.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we know when the Welcome to Rosamond sign is going to be painted?
That's a good question, to be honest with you. It was supposed to have been painted a long time ago.
3 years ago.
So we're looking at other options to repair it, let's say, or resolve the concern, let's put it that way. I don't foresee it getting painted for a while because of various reasons itself, but we have been discussing other options to resolve that.
Okay.
I'm willing to help you with that, Jack. If you want me to try to knock on some doors for some fundraising or help you put on a fundraiser, whatever, anything you need, you let me know.
One of the things we were just talking, just kind of let you know the direction we're thinking about is we're actually thinking to see if we could get proof of maybe a digital sign up there, put a higher up.
More of a permanent,
structure.
Okay.
And then that way the media could be updated and changed as necessary.
okay. Well, there might be some funding out there we can collaborate on, so
Yeah.
let's work on that.
So that's kind of the direction we're looking. Temporarily, we're thinking about just sticking up a vinyl banner to cover it. In the meantime, but long term, we're kind of looking that direction.
Okay. Let me know how I can help.
Appreciate
If
it.
you need funds for that vinyl banner, let me know. I'll be more than willing to pay for it, for sure.
I think we can
Okay,
take care
well-
of that.
Okay,
So, but I appreciate it.
yeah.
We'll always take any funds anybody wants to.
I know, it's been 3 years.
I won't tear down or turn down.
It's been 3 years. Okay, Jack, thank you. Does anyone else have any other questions for Jack?
So, yeah, I think that's about all I got. Things are looking up. We haven't remodeled the chamber, even though it's gonna be open for the meet and greet, and we're having it cleaned up and all that kind of stuff. But we haven't done the remodel because of the past 18 months, these supplies have just gone ridiculous.
Yeah.
To the point where it just wasn't feasible for us to remodel right now. So we're kind of waiting for the supplies to return somewhat to a normal level, and then we're gonna go in and do the remodel at that time. So right now, we got $7,100 to remodel with what's been done. So we want to maximize those funds the best we can. And to do that, right now, the price is just so ridiculous. So we'd be lucky to get a floor in at current prices. So that's it, unless anybody else has any other questions.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Next will be Southern Kern Unified School District, Superintendent Barbara Gaines. You have the floor. Thank you.
Have my back towards anybody. Thank you, first of all, and good evening to everyone. Just want to give you some updates. Our enrollment is back to where it was pre-COVID. We're back to about 3,540 students in our 6 schools in Southern Kern. It was great to welcome back the kids, even though we are still in COVID. We have our own testing center at Rosamond High Early College campus, which we test all of our staff members, and students who want to be tested or who need to be tested for free. Our testing center is open Monday through Friday from 10 to 4. So we have tested quite a few, let me tell you. Financial situation, you've heard me say before, and I hate to repeat this, but when I arrived here, we were $4 million in debt to Kern County Superintendent of Schools, and the team and I are very fortunate that we were able to pay back that $4 million our first year. And this year we are projected to have a reserve of 17%, which they haven't had in Southern Kern School District for a few years now. And that does not include $9 million that we're getting for COVID relief. So this $9.2 million that we're going to receive is primarily to mitigate student learning loss that we believe the students across the nation suffered as a result of COVID. It's also to address social emotional needs in our students, to provide, make sure that we have the psychologists and the mental health therapists on our campuses to be there to just depression or anxiety, whatever they suffered from not being around their friends and being in that school environment. And we also are providing a lot of after-school academies, math and reading. But we're doing also not just focusing on the learning loss, but we're focusing on bringing to our sites, all of them, enrichment opportunities for our students. The problem that we have, I don't know which is worse, no money or money. Because the problem that we're having now is, although we have an abundance of funds coming in to Southern Kern, there are just no employees out there. I've flown a position for an adapted physical education teacher for over a year now, and I cannot find anyone who has that skill level and wants to work in Southern Kern. So currently we have 3 teacher openings still in our district, and we're in week 6 of school. So this is not unique to Southern Kern. This is everywhere. Some schools will tell you in other districts, we have 3 openings just in one school alone. That is our district. Currently we are in need of 3. And of course they're all special needs teachers. So that is something we deal with. There are not a lot of subs available, but we are making it work. Sometimes administrators are in classes. The other day I was on the special needs school bus at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got to see a lot of Roseman that I'd never seen before. So I really enjoyed stepping up and taking on that role. We're doing a lot of construction, or in the design phase of construction for our schools. Roseman Elementary, if you've been by there, we are putting in 6 new kindergarten classrooms. Those probably will be finished in December, and so we're very, very excited about that. We will be having a ribbon cutting ceremony at Roseman Elementary, and we also are going to encompass the Roseman Elementary bell that the Historical Society has been on my back for 3 years. Find that bell, find that bell. And I did find the bell. It was in a very secure place, but not at Roseman Elementary, thank goodness. So they will be designing a structure to encompass that bell, and we will celebrate that at the same time we have the ribbon cutting. We are receiving $7.2 million in November, and we will use that money to build a new cafeteria at Roseman High School. And this cafeteria will have a very extensive and modern kitchen, and we will also use that kitchen not only to provide child nutrition for our students at Roseman High School, but also to develop a new CTE program in culinary arts. So this should give us CTE program number 10 at Roseman High School. So we're very, very excited to get our hands on that. 7.2. We've been told by the state we should have it this November. So we're very
I'm sorry,
excited.
can I interrupt you for a real quick?
Yes.
So then you'll be cooking food in that kitchen for the students?
Yes.
And it won't be boxed in?
No, we will be cooking food, and during COVID, that cafeteria is so small at Roseman High. If students had been on campus and I had to distance space students 6 feet, I could have accommodated 13 kids at one time. And that's not, I don't know how many lunches. I would have had to start lunch probably at midnight to get through it for the next day with 800 kids. So we know that the most, when we talk about our school district, the dire need is at Roseman High School for that cafeteria. So we're very, very excited about getting that. We're going to actually San Diego in early December to look at a couple of schools and what they did with their cafeterias, sort of to get some great ideas of what we want to do. Sounds like 7.2 million is a lot, but with the cost of construction now, it's really not. So.
Are you gonna tear down the existing cafeteria?
No.
Or just as
No, we're putting it in another spot on campus. Yeah. So, and we're also planning, we're on the state's list to receive 21, well, it was actually 23 point some million dollars for Tropico Middle School. And this will be to add 28 classrooms. We're going to do 2 of those classrooms will be for special needs students. 2 will be like they could be for science labs. They will have additional sinks, etc., and cabinetry to either be used for art or for primarily science lab. That will be 28 classrooms. The state awarded us 23 point some million. 2 point some of it was given to the superintendent prior to me. I'm just going to leave that at that. But I do have the 21 million still coming. We just have to meet the guidelines for CDE and the state architectural design to make sure everything is submitted on time to get our 21 million. But we know we're against the clock is ticking, and we meet every Monday to make sure that everything is in place to get that done. So things are going well. As the officer said, we had a problem at a football game a couple of weeks ago. We do not believe those students who came in were our students. I'm not sure where they were from, but we do not believe they were our students, but yet our students still ended up getting into it was after the game, the brawl. Yesterday, I was very, very disappointed in some of the younger students at Roseman High School. A handful, but still. I guess TikTok, if you're familiar with that app, I'm not familiar with it. I've never heard anything good about it, so I will just say that. It's, I know that it's highly involved in human trafficking, but this app put out a challenge for students to vandalize their schools. And we had some, unfortunately, they were freshmen and sophomores primarily, who destroyed the restrooms at Roseman High, tore all the soap and towel dispensers off the wall. They took phones off the wall. One young man had a fire extinguisher in his backpack. And so we are, last night at the board meeting, I spoke to the parents who were there and also who were watching us via Zoom. That is one thing I will replace, and we will move on from that. However, what bothers me more as an educator and as the superintendent in Southern Kern is that if this app has the ability to challenge our students to vandalize a school, what other challenges are they going to present for your children? And what, is it going to affect them mentally? Is it going to affect them? So we were just very, very disappointed that some of our students bought into this. And so I hate to end on a sour note, but other than that, we're making a lot of progress.
What is the policy to have computer or cell phone?
They can have them.
They can use them in the room while they're.
Well, they shouldn't be using them. They're supposed to have them in their back pocket, but you're not going to find a school, I don't think, in the United States that the kids don't have their cell phones.
They can't let them check them at the door or come in.
No, because we don't want to take the responsibility of having them stolen.
question on COVID also, you mentioned that they can get tested for free. What about vaccinations? Are they encouraged to get those?
Our staff, we follow the health mandates. We follow them to a T. And our staff is either required to submit to us proof that they've been vaccinated, or they have to test every single week. And if they fail to test every week, we place them on unpaid leave until they decide to test. That's not my rule, that's the state mandate. I try to follow the
And
rules.
I think I read in the paper that you do have masks mandated.
Oh, yes, masks are mandated. I mean, and I can tell you, it's a beautiful sight if you're into masks. All of our kids are wearing them. They're matching their little outfits with their mask, and the kids are doing a great job. Kids are doing a great job.
Masks do work.
Mhm. And I sometimes have to remind the adults that you need to put on that mask, or wear it properly. So, but the kids are doing a great job.
I have one, oh, go on, sorry.
So I think that's great news about the cafeteria at the high school. Have you considered a cafeteria at Rare Earth? From what I understand, they used to have one, but it was taken over by CTE at Rosamond High.
Rare Earth currently receives their food from the high school. Ladies also supply Rare Earth. 7.2 million is, as I said, it sounds like an abundance of money, but when you start doing everything and putting everything together, the architects, the geological, all the surveys that have to be done, it goes really, really quick. Someday that might be something that we could do. Right now, the dire need is at Rosamond High, early college campus, and so that would be our first.
So just in the meantime, are kids like eating outside? Like where do they eat?
Most of the high school students, even if it's sprinkling, they don't want to eat inside. Middle and high school students, they like to be outside. But what we did was we bought several really nice picnic tables. We bought them in red for the high school to go with their colors, and they're around the campus where the kids can sit there and during their lunch. We have 2 lunches there, so that provides the students opportunities to get food.
Thank you.
Yes, John?
Barbara, did the bond sale go through?
I didn't put that on my list because it's been one of those days. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. One of the things that we have been planning in Southern Kern is to refinance the bonds and try to give back to the community, lower the interest rate to be able to lower the taxes of our community members. And so today I had my mind set on the amount at around $700,000 to be able to give back to the community. And so they came in this morning at about 10 o'clock. They asked me, can we get back to you in 30 minutes? We're not finished really. We haven't sold all the bonds. And I said, sure, 10:30 works. And so they came in originally at being able to give back like 660-some thousand. And so I'm pretty proud of myself for this one. I said, oh, no, I think I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait a while until I can give back to the community. I really had my mind set on 700,000. And so they said, oh, okay, well, let us get back to you again. And so we did. We're going to give back 700,000. I don't know what they did, but this is not my area of expertise, bonds or not. But so we will be lowering the taxes for the community. So that's a good thing. We're very excited about that.
When would that be okay?
Well, I know that it's going to be, I think it actually goes on we actually kick it in sometime mid-October. So I'm not sure when it would go to the tax bills. That's something I'd have to, that's a great question.
Well, it'd be next year. fiscal year starts in June.
It'll be the next physical year probably. Okay, any other questions? Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. Oh, I actually did have one question for you,
Okay,
and I do apologize.
it's okay.
Dress code.
Dress code.
Dress code for employees
Oh,
has been brought up from parents and children. Is there a dress code for employees for Southern Kern Unified?
well, there's not really what I would call a dress code. We have board policy that addresses dressing professional, like closed-toed shoes, no flip-flops, this sort of thing. I forget exactly what the verbiage is, but it addresses it in that way. But it doesn't address, for example, like whether someone wants to make their hair pink or blue
No,
or
I'm
something.
asking about like shorts, pants, skirts, shoes, shirts, not their hair. That's
Yeah,
not dress
I think
code.
that uses the word, I think it uses the word professional, should dress professional for the
Okay.
position they hold.
Perfect, thank you, that's all I wanted to know.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next is Antelope Valley Citizens for Responsible Use of Water.
No report from me.
No, Randy.
I can give a good news report from AVIC.
Okay.
On Tuesday night, they voted to $550 million to do a blending plant at the Dias treatment plant up the street. So, yes, ours. That's called the Dias treatment plant.
Okay,
Yes. So that was good news.
perfect, thank you. And it looks like there's no one here from Edwards Air Force Base. Any others? No? So community announcements, notifying representatives from the community and any organizations or clubs are invited to announce upcoming events to the public. Please limit your presentation to no more than 3 minutes. Do we have anyone here who? No, okay. So now we're gonna move into our public comment period. Any members of the public may address the council regarding any matter of concern to Roseville residents. Excuse me. This need not to be related to any item on the agenda. However, law prohibits the council to take any action on matter not on the agenda. Please limit presentation to 3 minutes. Yes,
I had
sir.
a question about the road, but I wasn't here at the last meeting, I was trying to catch up on what was decided. Is there any immediate improvements to Roseland Boulevard at all?
To Rosemont Boulevard,
Yeah, from Sierra Highway to 40.
Sierra Highway to 40th. Okay, I do believe that we are, I don't want to mislead you and lie to you, so I will find out the factual information and get back to you on that, and I do apologize. I know that we do have the 14 is under construction, as well as Sierra Highway. Sierra.
I do know that sidewalks are slated, but they're
Yes.
not for like another 2-3 years.
22.
Right. And at the last meeting, Lieutenant Williams of Highway Patrol commented that he was working with Caltrans regarding the on and off ramp situation
Yes.
here where the, right where the white, what do they call those? The white mark, delimiters keep getting knocked over and things like that. Highway Patrol was working with Caltrans and that was slated to be in the works.
Well, I called the roads department in Bakersfield,
Mhm.
and they told me they had funds for road boulevard, they didn't come in. I talked to the planning department, talked to Suzanne, yes.
Okay, we probably need to talk directly to the traffic department, so with, if you want to leave your information, Lisa and I can collaborate on that and get a report back to you.
Right, because every time I call somewhere in Bakersfield, they refer me to someone else.
Yeah.
I have one other issue, I don't know, it's a new agenda issue, but is there any way we can get public services on the eastern side of the where it is, Mojave, Laurel, Rosewood, so we can have a satellite station, we can talk to one person. I know you come over here. but-
Yeah, I'm here very frequently, and prior to COVID, I did hold office hours here once a month, right before the chamber and Rmac meetings.
Yeah.
That's just now starting to kind of get back in on the schedule again. They're starting to loosen some of the restrictions as far as that goes.
But if you understand what I'm saying, every time we call over there, we get transferred to 3 different. Can't we have one?
I don't know if the location is available, or funding's available, or staffing's available, but it's
Well-
definitely something we can propose.
I did write to Zeta, but I never got an answer back, so I'll give you those letters.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Does anyone else have any other? Yes, John?
Yes, the supervisors set the speed limit on the holiday at 40 miles an hour between 30th and 40th on Tuesday. And I'm dying to ask this gentleman who asked such great questions who he is. The Roseman News would love to know.
I don't want to be in the paper.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. I've written to the county and like I told her, it's just nice to get answers back.
I will give you my card at the closing of the meeting, and I always answer my cell phone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I do have a concern. It's about a specific area of Roseland Boulevard. So there's a crosswalk that's between 25th and I guess 30th that is not at a light, and it's very, very, very dangerous. So I don't know if there's like any way we can make that.
On the corner of
Taco Bell.
Eagle Way and
Yes.
Taco Bell.
Yes.
That's a brand new signal light that was put in crosswalk with the flashing light. It was requested by the community because there was no way for the high school kids to be able to cross during the school day to go over to Tom's Restaurant, for example. And there needed to be some way of breaking the speed of traffic through that area, so that was the solution that was come up with.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's working for breaking the speed, and it's actually like very, very dangerous for the kids to cross there. Even though it's marked and it has the flashing lights, it's still really hard to notice when kids are crossing. So I myself, like, I have to pass that road every day for work, and it's just like a constant like issue, like trouble. And I'm really concerned for the safety of our kids, who I guess it was made for, and it's like actually causing a dangerous crossing area.
I can appreciate that.
Sure. You guys helped me out too. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
I have one more thing, and that is Laurel and I attended the EKEDC meeting in the Tehachapi Police Department willingly. We weren't dragged in there.
We were in the conference room.
We were in the conference room. And all of the communities from Roseman gave their reports. And without going through all of them, East Kern is booming. Every community is doing something great. And so my announcement was of our new stores opening up. Starbucks and O'Reilly's and the market, and more to come. So I'll bring that to you.
Perfect, thank you so much. Okay, this time we're gonna go ahead and move into our business meeting. We're gonna do committee reports, ad hoc committees established by the following items. Review of bylaws. Bill?
Okay, just kind of, sorry about it, I have been in discussions with various parties regarding the bylaws, and have also kind of got a script now that we need to follow in order to be able to affect changes to the bylaws. But I can tell you that there are many aspects of the bylaws that are no longer operative or are not correct anymore, and those need to be changed. There's also other issues that we have, but It has to go through a process. First, the committee has to basically come up with what the problems are with the bylaws. And then it has to basically be checked also by county council before it's submitted to the board of supervisors. So there's a bit of a process involved. It'll take probably about 6 months or more to get those changes through.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, we're gonna move into old business. Administration, office space, files, and equipment. So Bill has been here working on our office. It's actually looking very nice. We have computers up and running now and access to all of that. So it is moving along. Do you have any other update on that, Bill?
Well, we're working on a better internet service for this building. The one that they have and that I'm using for streaming this meeting to the community, it's got very narrow bandwidth. Plus my own equipment is protesting every once in a while. It throws up a limited resources sign every once in a while. But the intent is to get a internet service here that will support being able to concurrently communicate our meetings to the public in real time rather than after the fact. And just before the meeting today, John Joyce pointed out to me that we could also live feed through YouTube. I was not fully conversant with that process of how to do that, but he's given me a lead on to someone who can.
Well, the school district has a sharp guy named Dan Wexler, and puts the trustees meeting up every 2 weeks flawlessly. So maybe he would show you how to do it.
Okay, perfect. We will actually work on that and see what we can do, so move forward with that. Okay, so letter B for our old business is RMAC goals and project status for 19, 20, 21.
Okay, I can touch on that for you. I've updated a handout, it's there in the package, but there's really only one item where there's been any progress recently, and that is the report that we got from Lieutenant Williams last month regarding the Caltrans design and engineering effort that is ongoing. He did note that it was going to probably be a few years before we get in a position where we have the funding and to be able to get that implemented. But at least it's some new information, and we're a little bit further down the road than we were before. Yes, sir.
Yes, is that just to work on the ramp, or is it to widen
There's two aspects to the ramp. One is ADA issues on the bridge itself. The other part of it has to do with the proximity of the off-ramp coming off Highway 14 into East Rosamond and its relationship or position relative to B Street and Glendower. We did a phase one where we put delineators up, we changed traffic patterns, a few other things. That was a result of a meeting that was done with Caltrans, with the CHP involvement, and several other parties. So we have stage one implement. And as Lieutenant Williams mentioned last month, the fatality rate and accident rate has plummeted in that area because it was very dangerous before. But it's still not perfect. You still have the old farm boy that comes off that ramp and goes immediately for Glendower, and without regard for any traffic coming down Rosamond Boulevard.
Or over the overpass and turns down B Street.
Right, I've seen that.
Which is,
I've seen that.
so when we do have that meeting, I'm gonna talk to them to try to just block it off.
My question still is, are we ever gonna get more than one lane for each over the overpass?
I can't.
My question is, are we ever gonna get a second lane going east over the overpass.
Well, that's part of this design and engineering process that's going on. The ramp as it's currently constructed coming off the 14 is going to change. So there's right-of-way issues and all of those things that have to be dealt with there. A procurement of property. So that's why it's a process involved in that before we get to a point where we can fund and build the thing.
But that's all state funds, right? That's-
Yes, it's all state money.
So there's no plan now to do a second lane going east.
No.
Well, that was surveyed
Oh, yeah.
and be an engineer to determine what we can and can't do
How many years?
for moving like engineers.
Yeah, so I won't be alive. I've been here 30 years, and I've never seen anything
Right.
sorry.
You're okay. Now, another thing on the agenda, or on our goals, to talk about was that we didn't mention last month, but it's on our list here, is the swimming pool. Our community swimming pool was approved for a $992,000 rejuvenation project. Thank you. I'm so excited. With help from Laurelyn and Zach and the community members who really did fight for it, that will be done. And I'm so excited. So thank you. I appreciate your help on that. For real. I appreciate it. So it is for everyone in Roseman. We will be having our community swimming pool back. And it will be up and running and better than ever. And it will last us 10 years, it was projected, for a 10-year remodel. A 10-year remodel. So, and it will, COVID pending, be open by next year. So that was my announcement for the pool. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and, miss what?
I missed it.
You missed it. Can't miss that, can't miss that. So we're gonna go ahead and move forward. The Roseman Mojave Rehabilitation Project, which is the freeway. It is still under construction.
Yeah.
I do know that Sierra Highway, we have put a stop to that repaving of Sierra Highway until the freeway is done, which I do appreciate the phone calls that was made for that, because we can't have the freeway shut down and Sierra Highway shut down at the same time. So that does work. I know that Roseman Sierra Highway entrances to the freeway is shut down at the time, so you have to enter in Roseman, or else you will have to turn around and come all the way back to Roseman to get on the freeway to go towards Mojave. Then there's no road closure signs, so just to let the public know that. We're gonna move on to D, is Brown Act and Ethics Training. That is set for September 17th, which
Actually going to be October 7th.
was, okay, October 7th. I was like, hold on, the 17th? So October 7th. Now, is that gonna be in person or online, Bill?
It's going to be in person for us here with the instructor Kendra Graham from County Council online with us.
Okay, so we're all here due to come at one time.
Yes.
Is,
It'll be 5 o'clock on the 7th of October.
so because we're all gonna be here, let me just make sure that we're not violating Brown Act. Are we gonna have, media here?
No, it's a training exercise.
It's a training exercise, so it's okay?
It's closed just to you only and it's training, so
Okay,
you're
because there was question last time that it happened. Oh, thank you.
It wouldn't be a violation because it would be considered a special meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It just has to be agendized and everything.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to be sure. There was questions last time.
They're listening.
Okay, so, we're gonna move to D,
Wait a
which,
minute, one more thing.
yes.
For those directors who have not done their ethics training and turned in a copy of their certificate, they need to get that training done and get it in. In addition, County Council has advised that we will be needing sexual harassment training that will be getting scheduled at some point in time down the road. So heads up, and we'll let everyone know all the time and date parameters.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, D, road repairs, upkeep and safety. So I know that a lot of people we've been looking for people to tell us where the roads are that are not in the best shape so we can let the county know. Yes, we will, I will get a whole list of areas from you right after the meeting, and I do have a list to turn in to Bill myself tonight as well. So,
Yeah, we're going after the middle
we've
of the
been
town.
going around looking. So we do have a whole list, and we will get that turned into county as soon as possible. We're gonna move down to F, which is notice of public hearing for the Board of Supervisors. That was for Raceway 2.0.
That's correct.
Is this a? So that was our letter that we wrote to the supervisors about the Raceway Solar Project 2.0. We wrote this back in August and did read it to them and send it to them for the 2.0 project that was passed 4-0.
Just a little bit of additional information on that. The biggest thing that was holding up the approval of this thing was not so much Rosamond's concerns, but was actually a financial thing for the county, because there have been some things going on concurrently. One is restrictions on the petrochemical industry in Kern County, specifically fracking. They have tried to eliminate. The other part of it is the reduction of real estate property tax values, and this was done at some point in time. And I think Laura has a little bit more information on that, how that works. But essentially, when these solar companies got going on these projects, they basically got permission from the state to basically maintain the property tax value prior to their improvements. And that represented a sizable impact to the county. Maybe you could clarify that a little bit more for them.
Sure. It's actually a state regulation, and it was designed, I believe, back, maybe 2007. And it was designed initially to attract solar and alternative energy companies to the state of California in general. So how this works is, and it does not apply to wind, it's just solar. And it's not residential solar, it's only the large solar farms that you see. And basically how it reads is that the property that these solar farms are built on can never be reassessed. So they purchase properties in many, many cases that were previously landlocked, or no infrastructure, no improvements to them at all, for very discounted pricing, obviously, right? Then the solar companies put in roads, they put in infrastructure, they put in fencing, they put in the panels, they do an exorbitant amount of improvement to that property, which increases that property value. The county cannot reassess them. So they're not paying property taxes on current legitimate value of the property. Supervisor Scrivener did put a referral into his staff to do a study on approximately how much estimated income was lost per year based on this state regulation. They anticipated several times now, as this regulation sets to expire, that the governor's office would not renew, and they continue to renew and renew. So the next time it is set to expire is in 2024. So Supervisor Scrivener's referral to staff to do the study
resulted in an estimate loss per year of $19 million into the county budget. The Board of Supervisors unanimously approved to write the governor's office and request that when 2024 rolls around, please do not renew. So that's where we are. Then I can update you today. It might change next week, but that's what we're working on.
Thank you. Move forward from that? Okay. So we are going down to new business, trash debris in Rosamond. So, trash debris in Rosamond. Do you have the report from the collection day?
Yes. It was approximately 65 vehicles that brought in the West. Pardon me. For the Rmac Waste Management Bulk Trash Day. It was about 65 vehicles, and there was a little bit of consternation on the part of some of the members in the community because there was a flyer also put out that indicated that that site would take hazardous waste materials. And I had to turn away several cars, and people were very angry. In addition to contacting Lisa about it, I also talked to a couple other folks, and we found a workaround and got some of that stuff taken care of through Lancaster. But it's not a permanent solution. I did talk with the others and ask them to hold those materials if they can until the next hazardous waste day in Mojave, which is November 4th, I believe. And they said they would, so that's fine. But it just apparently RCSD got some information from county waste management, and somehow it got garbled. But fortunately, the guys working there were from Tehachapi and had some experience with that, and were able to help deflect that.
I know there's very specific requirements with hazardous materials, and they can only be accepted on certain days and.
Waste management here never takes toxic materials. They will take TVs, they will take computers,
Yeah.
those kinds of toxins, yes, they will take those.
Right.
They'll take old electronics. They do not take paint, tires,
Oil.
flammables, the oil, things like that. Absolutely not, and that will be from here moving forward. They do not take toxic waste like that, ever. When we do a bulky waste day here, it's just bulky waste items. Thank you. Thank you, Bill, for going and doing that. I appreciate it a lot.
The guys appreciated it too.
What's that?
The guys appreciated it too.
They appreciated your face and not mine.
No, they appreciated the fact that you bought them lunch.
Oh, they deserve it. They work hard. Okay, director training. Orientation of directors and duties of chair and vice chair throughout in-person training. Bill's gonna go ahead and update on that like I'm doing tonight. Everyone's gonna get a turn. Your turn, Bill.
I think Lisa's done pretty well so far.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
I'm tongue twisted tonight, so that's kind of unusual for me. But it's something that I've been thinking about because you just never know what this world's going to bring. And I think you need continuity in any organization. And so Lisa did it this month. Tim will do October for us. And November is open, and December we may not have a meeting, I'm not sure yet. But so we still have November open. I'm hoping Shanine might be interested in taking a shot at it.
I would entertain that
We
idea.
usually went dark in December, it's normally what we do.
Yeah.
The chamber?
So I'll take this.
Right.
Yeah, well, our neck did too, normally.
Yeah.
Unless
Well,
they-
that's fine. December is probably going to be that way. But November, I think we're still going to do that.
Okay, next under new business will be the high-speed rail alignment per Kerr County planning. The CAHSR has not been finalized throughout the real estate transactions are in progress.
I've talked to a couple of different folks about that. And there's people, and John even mentioned it last month about eminent domain, and they're going to put that thing right where they want it. And it's really not going to be stopped. I'm concerned about it because it clips the edge of Willow Springs International Raceway. And I really hope that the county can influence that so that that doesn't happen. But we'll see. The state usually gets what they want.
So where did it go out?
What's that?
Do you know the exact route?
I know it in general terms. It comes down out of Tehachapi, and it's going to come through Rosamond at about 62nd Street West, crossing Rosamond Boulevard at that point, and then crossing 60th Street somewhere down around Gaskell Road, I believe.
Which I assume they're doing that to take advantage of the power station there,
What power station is that, Jack?
off of 60th.
Oh,
That equipment's not heavy enough for that, Jack.
Oh, who's to say they won't upgrade it?
That's 34.5 kV for that train.
That's nuclear power plant.
Yeah, that's major power. I'm sure it's stepped down, and voltage and everything, but that's the kind of power that they have to get that electricity from. And I don't think that substation there is at that.
They couldn't upgrade it.
They probably could.
Yeah, I figured they might upgrade it or something.
Is there any?
It just seems convenient that it goes right here.
Is this like 20 years away?
What's that?
How many years away are they talking?
Oh, for this route? Well, if you talk to the California high-speed rail folks, it's any day now. They're working on funding. They have some money. But
How much has been done in the San Joaquin Valley?
I don't know.
Because that's where they started.
Most of the work has been done in the Fresno area
Yeah, Fresno
at the
was
beginning.
saying.
And it's basically been
Abandoned?
bridges that going over the water, over the Kings River, over the Merced Bridge.
Right.
It's huge. If you go up the 99, you will see the great works.
Yeah.
it's
Uh,
abandoned?
I don't see them connected though. It's like one bridge here, one bridge there,
It's abandoned.
and what's between them?
Surely not.
But, yeah, but the pylons and the engineering, when you start thinking about something wants to run across that at 220 miles an hour, that's a whole lot of shaking.
Who wants to be the first one to drive?
I'll drive.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ride though. I'll drive.
Elon Musk, maybe?
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move forward so we can wrap up our meeting here. We're gonna go ahead and move forward to directors' agenda referrals. Tim?
I have nothing.
Bill? Janine?
I have nothing.
Ms. Riley?
None.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Directors' comments? Does anyone have
I have no comment.
any comments from any director here tonight? Okay, well, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. We're going to go ahead and do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make that motion.
What time is it, Jack? 8:14. We're going to go ahead and, do we have, everyone agree?
Yes.
Yay?
Any opposed?
Any opposed? Nay? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and adjourn at 8:14.